Good evening and good news. The volunteer spirit is alive and well in Eastern Iowa. I'm Jenna Miller, and tonight I have the privilege of introducing you to 9 outstanding volunteers. Each year, TV9 and our Show You Care sponsors ask you to nominate outstanding Eastern Iowans who deserve special recognition for the special work they do. This year, we received more than 45 nominations. A distinguished panel of judges read each of your nominations and selected 9 winners, our 9 who care. Tonight, we want you to meet these wonderful people who make Eastern Iowa a better place to live for all of us. Our first award winner is Ann Collins from Decorah. TV9's Lori Johnson says this volunteer helps the young and the old.
Ann Collins is a busy volunteer. She spends some of her time here at Toys Go Round in Decorah. It's like a library, but instead of books, kids and families check out toys and games.
There you go, Ann.
I clean toys, I put them away, and I carry them, put them on the shelf, and if there's some dirty ones, I put them on the table and wash them and clean them and put them away.
It's a lot of work.
But I enjoy it very much.
Why do you like it so much?
Oh, I don't know, because I'm a volunteer. I like it down here, that's why.
Keeping all of these toys clean isn't child's play. There are about 800 toys here, and a lot of kids use them. So Ann's job is very important.
She is one of our essential volunteers. We depend very heavily on volunteers to come in, and as you can imagine, with all the toys that go in and out, they need to be cleaned, the parts need to be counted, and she is one of the people that, that helps to clean the toys and replace them back on the shelves so they can be checked out again.
Ann was born with a disability, but that doesn't stop her from helping others. Judy Rima nominated her for the award.
Ann is a very caring person. She takes a big interest in giving back to the community. She really enjoys her job. She enjoys meeting the children at Toys Go Round and is very conscientious of people's needs.
People helping people is what Toys Go Round is all about. And Ann is a good role model for young people like Kyle and Anna Kane.
We really see ourselves as a community organization, and one of the ways we can educate kids is by having them show responsibility in returning their toys. But when they see people volunteering and they themselves are participating by cleaning toys, that is helping them to learn to be good citizens.
Ann doesn't only work with young people, she volunteers at 2 nursing homes.
Some of the people, especially like in the nursing homes, maybe don't have a lot of family around, and so they wait for Ann to come every week. She comes in and maybe reads to them or just visits with them or is a friend to them. And so it really means a lot in their lives that they have someone that they can depend upon that comes every week.
Dependable and full of desire. 2 good ways to describe Ann.
So you gonna keep on volunteering, you think?
Yes, I am, for the rest of my life, I guess.
Our next 9 Who Care Award winner is Jeanette Hansen. TV9's Iowa City reporter Mike Wagner tells us about this volunteer who always found time to lend a helping hand.
Fred and Jeanette Hansen met in a bar in France. The American soldier from a small town in Iowa married the girl from a small town in France, and they soon moved back to the States. Later in life, as she reached retirement age, Jeanette looked for something to do.
She couldn't sit home alone, do nothing. She had to be busy. And, well, she liked helping elderly people. Yeah, she got that from her working in the nursing home as a nurse's aide.
So she called Elda Licht with Volunteer Services of Cedar County. Licht finds people to drive elderly patients to the hospital.
She had a heavy French accent, and I had a little bit of a hard time understanding, and I thought, oh my goodness, now what are we going to find for Jeanette to do? And boy, all I had to do was come and meet her, and I knew I had found just a gem.
Well, she was separated from her mother and her father, and she used this to, I guess, make up for not being with her mother and father.
87-year-old Lulu Clark is one of the many people Jeanette adopted.
And she used to say, oh, I wish I could do something for you. Every time she came, I said, Jeanette, I said, just sit down and let's visit.
It was this special attention that made Jeanette a volunteer people asked for by name.
they asked for her to come back. They didn't want somebody else to carry them. They wanted her to carry them.
Of course, a couple of them told me they didn't know how they were going to possibly get along without Jeanette.
Jeanette died during a visit to France 3 months ago. During her life, she received several awards for volunteering, plus letters from the president and the governor.
And the clients often they wanted to cry about Jeanette helping them, and she wouldn't let them. She said, if you're going to cry, I won't do it anymore. I'm here to make you happy.
It was her way of giving back. She's always been a giving person, and this was her way of giving. I could probably go on all day talking about her, but it's just that I loved her and I loved what she did.
And the people she helped will never forget a woman who happily went the extra mile for them.
Sometimes people need a little push to get involved in volunteering. Just ask Don Harrelson. A friend asked him to go along on a Meals on Wheels delivery. After that, Don was hooked. But then something stopped him short. Tonight, TV9's Liz Mathis shows us what that was and why it makes Don such an outstanding volunteer.
I love the job. I love the people. And so it's something that I can do, and still it's something I like so well.
Every Friday, Don Harrelson and his wife Dot pick up these meals at St. Luke's Hospital. Then they're off, delivering Meals on Wheels to those who need nutrition and friendly conversation.
He's such a kind, caring gentleman. He's a little concerned because he doesn't think he volunteers as much as everybody else, but what he does do is he brings some real inspiration.
And this is why. Don is fighting terminal stomach cancer. He's had months of radiation and chemo treatments. And in a twist of irony, Don now gets his nourishment through a feeding tube, not from a plate. Though his cancer slowed him, his heart keeps him going.
Since his illness, he's not able to do a lot of it himself, the tracking, so I started to do it. I said, if you really, really want to do it, I'll go ahead and I'll help you. So this is where we're at.
Today, Don's feeling pretty good. When he doesn't, he sits in the lobby and talks to passersby. The retired Cedar Rapids businessman and grandfather of two always has a friendly smile and a kind word. Their regulars appreciate that.
They're always on time, and they're just so congenial. And they always leave little messages during the holidays for us, and they're just good people.
Don's volunteered for many groups throughout his life, but Meals on Wheels is a volunteer effort that's helping him right now as much as it helps others. He thinks everyone should try it.
And how have you been, dear? It's simply if they would just try it once and see what it is, because the people are wonderful. They like what Meals on Wheels are doing for them, and they're just great people.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more inspiring stories of Eastern Iowans who show they care after this.
9 Who Care is sponsored by Hardee's, Yonkers, St. Luke's Hospital, and by United States Cellular.
Welcome back. For 25 years, Rosina Kiefer has donated her time to a long list of causes, and her outstanding efforts have made her one of our 9 Who Care. After raising 10 children, Rosina became a widow in 1974, and that left a void in her life. TV9's Mark Thomas says Kiefer then decided it was time to give of herself, but little did she know how much.
Ask Rosina Kiefer why she volunteers so much, and she'll give you a simple answer.
Well, what else would I do with my time? I like to be doing something. I don't sit at the bar.
Each week, Rosina helps dish out lunch for hundreds of students of all ages in Bellevue.
It's just nice to see all those little kids coming through here.
Evelyn Kloft nominated Rosina for the 9 Who Care Award.
She's very kind. She's always thinking about what she can do for someone else. She's always there to help whoever needs it, and she never thinks she's doing enough.
Next Monday I'll work again because there was an empty slot and nobody called in to volunteer for that, and so I did. Because I'm alone, I can come and go. There isn't anyone there to tell me you come home or you stay home. I go.
Rosina Kiefer has donated her time for 25 years here at St. Joseph's Kitchen, but her volunteering doesn't end here.
This year's a red, white, and blue one. I just started making this one yesterday, so I'm not finished with it. I only have just part of it here.
Rosina has sewn countless quilts and comforters for the needy, It all started back in 1977 when she heard about an effort in her church to help missions in Kentucky and South Dakota.
I went to the meeting to see what the meeting was all about. And here, when the meeting was over with, they said, Rosina, you take charge of this.
Her ample sewing work has become so popular, people drop off more material than she can handle. But the comforters keep forming and going off to the poor.
I just keep making them. People bring material and they bring clothes. I collect used clothing the year round and I send them out to the missions.
Do you ever see a day where you're just like, you know, I need to slow down a little bit, a little less volunteering?
Well, on Sundays I sit down and I read and I sleep.
That's your one day of rest.
Yeah, I don't work. I don't even wash dishes on Sundays.
Rosina says she's honored to receive the Nine Who Care Award, but puzzled at the same time.
It's too much. I don't see why people make such a big fuss over me. Because I'm just doing that just to be doing something.
As for volunteering, Rosina hopes more people will follow in her ways.
I thought I was busy too, but once I got into it, you get hooked on it. I mean, I'm happy doing this.
Now, we want you to meet Katie Lammers from Marion. TV9's Bruce Downey features this Marion woman who is one of our Nine Who Care.
Katie Lammers' husband may describe her best when he says she leads through quiet determination. And Katie has turned that quiet determination towards solving the needs of her community. At first, her volunteer work involved St. Joseph Catholic Church, Meals on Wheels, and the Marion Food Pantry. But that was just the start.
There was a need in Marion perhaps to go beyond what the Marion Pantry was serving as far as food and clothing were concerned, and we decided that someone needed to get together a program and at least explore and identify other unmet needs within the community.
That program became the Marion Church's Social Concerns Committee. It involves churches working together on social projects.
Many of the churches were actually doing things on their own, and the most active project was a habitat project, but that they were working individually with Cedar Valley Habitat.
This time, Katie's quiet determination led to the Marion Church's Habitat Project. The joint effort produced these two houses, houses that two families call home today.
I first met her 5 years ago when we did do the first project. And I remember thinking, oh, we couldn't ever raise $40,000 for a Habitat house, but she knew we could, and it was done.
But Katie's work has not stopped with Habitat for Humanity. This 5 acres of land behind me lies along Highway 13 on the east edge of Marion. It's the site of Katie's latest project, Mound View Manor, an assisted living facility for low-income elderly.
Several of us had been personally involved with trying to help the elderly for several years, and it was very frustrating not to be able to find a place for them. I would go from facility to facility trying to see if there was something that they could do, and the answer was no, there is no such thing.
So Katie found an answer, the Marion Church's Senior Living Community Foundation. It's building Mound View Manor. This first phase of 40 units will give low-income seniors the homes they need in their final years. The foundation's received a HUD grant, the land was donated, and businesses and organizations have also been generous. But when the facility opens a year from this spring, Katie says the donations must keep coming.
So we do need contributions to this foundation. It's very, very important that we continue to have them from individuals, corporations, grants, partnerships with healthcare organizations, whatever makes it happen.
Isn't it wonderful to have that kind of faith and to put into action that she wants to do? Because she puts in the hours, and we're just so fortunate to have her in this community.
This is a pilot project, and we know it is, and we want it to be, and we want others to replicate it throughout the state of Iowa so that we can serve this wide population of needy people.
For many of us, time is precious as we try to juggle work and family. But even with a full-time teaching job, Scotty Moore still finds time to volunteer. TV9's Renee Chu says Scotty's desire and determination to help others makes her one of our 9 who care.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Are you a little shy? Are you all signed up to go to school next year now?
Yeah. To say Scotty Moore is kind of active with volunteering.
She looks like she feels a lot better, does she?
Is like saying she's kind of outgoing.
Let's see you do your trick.
You could call it the mother in Scotty, who started this support group for teen moms.
You're not having trouble in any of your classes, are you?
After all, she knows the babies by name.
You want your mom to go to school, don't you, Olivia?
And she knows these mothers need help.
So I kind of got involved just because no one else was involved at that point in time, and I really saw a lot of those girls struggling to stay in school. They all wanted to be good moms, but a lot of them, didn't have the skills or the information they needed to be good moms.
Moms who are at Oskaloosa High, where Scotty's official title is teacher. But she's much more.
And then I can set you up with someone who'll help you fill out the forms because those are kind of confusing.
For 14 years, she's been showing these young mothers ways of staying in school, staying off welfare, and staying together.
Yeah, she's helped me a lot. Stood by my side, told me my options.
And these girls know Scotty's not one to lecture, but listen.
Like the time when my parents first found out and they were pretty upset, and she just helped me through that part of that.
Okay, how about if I put this one up? Should I put it here?
Scotty also helps another group who's been dealt one of life's unfair hands.
Oh, should we put this by the other one?
She's on the board of directors at the Diamond Shelter, a home for the physically and developmentally disabled. But don't mistake board member for stuffy office.
So Mary, are you going to help her with the cookies?
Scotty joined to help people, face to face, hand to hand, generation to generation.
She's been on our board for a number of years now and rarely misses a meeting, commits to being involved, is very much a team player.
Did he get his first tooth?
Scotty's a player on countless other teams, but to her, each team is like her only love.
I really think it's important that every life we touch, we live it a little better.
Something she's been doing almost all of her life, and Scotty says she'll dedicate the rest of that life.
Can't you give me a smile tonight, Malachi?
To making it better for those who have all of theirs left to live.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more inspiring stories of Eastern Iowans who show they care after this. Welcome back. I'm Jenna Miller. If any volunteer group in Winnebago County needs a helping hand, they know who to call. Mary Roush started volunteering nearly 40 years ago, and this woman from Fort Atkinson didn't stop with just 1, 2, or 3 different activities. TV9's Dave Fransman says this 9 Who Care winner volunteers for at least 15 different organizations.
And how do we show this rabbit? What do we do to the fur?
If you want some advice on your 4-H project, Mary Roush is certainly the person to see. She's worked as a 4-H leader in Winnebago County for 38 years.
She listens and she knows what she's doing when she has projects and stuff.
But this group's just a small part of the picture. Mary also leads the American Legion Auxiliary's junior group, serves in several Catholic groups like the Foresters. And then there's more 4-H groups, a support group for abused women, and a kind club for kids. Well, you get the idea.
That rabbit, what weight should that rabbit be?
Mary figures she's currently involved with at least 15 different groups or events and has some volunteer activities scheduled nearly every day of the work week.
When do you find time to do anything else in life?
This is part of my life. This is my life.
Well, full-time mother, full-time grandmother, full-time volunteer, that sounds like enough for anybody. But in the late 1980s, Mary went back to college and started getting advanced degrees and also got a job at Northeast Iowa Community College.
Mary now has a master's degree in counseling and is working on her doctorate. She runs the Iowa New Choices program, working with single parents and displaced homemakers. She's also heavily involved with farm crisis counseling. And when it comes to helping people or just helping out, Mary can't say no.
I always get more back than what I ever give. And in helping within the community, it seems like no matter what you do, you always gain more than you ever give.
Like Mary, I have a hard time saying no. That's kind of the disease that she gives to us is to always help. If there's a need there, we help.
Sue Kinnan had Mary as a 4-H leader 30 years ago, and that inspired her to do volunteer work today. The same is true for Lori Milbrandt, Mary's daughter, who nominated her mother for 9 Who Care. Both say when it comes to helping others, Mary Roush leads by example.
Volunteering can take up a lot of valuable time, but our next 9 Who Care winners are willing to sacrifice almost anything to make other lives happier because it makes their lives better. Joyce and Dick Smith give new meaning to the word give. Welcome to volunteer headquarters at the Smith House, where Joyce and Dick Smith spend more than 20 hours every week.
I honestly believe we're in this world to help one another.
Headlines tell their story. The Smiths have been helping other couples stay together for 13 years through a weekend program called Retrovie. Retrovie means to rediscover, and the Smiths have discovered how making a difference in the lives of others makes a difference in their own.
The main thing for me is when we see families stay together, and children have always been a soft spot in my heart, and when I see that parents are staying together and the children are benefiting from this, it's probably the driving force for me.
Panic, shock, and disbelief set in.
The death of Joyce's brother from AIDS is the driving force behind the Smiths narrating this informational video. They hope to raise awareness of the facts and the pain associated with AIDS through the Dubuque-Land AIDS Coalition.
Once you experience somebody with AIDS, especially somebody that close to you, you can't help but help another family.
But the Smiths have their own family and their own careers. Joyce is a licensed nurse and pharmacy technician. Dick is a teacher in the Western Dubuque School District. But they also have time for
hospice,
marriage encounter,
Retrovie,
Christian experience weekends,
a bereavement committee,
teens encounter Christ,
visiting shut-ins,
hospital volunteering.
But the Smiths say they are not alone, and thousands of people now know they're not alone because of volunteers.
We know a lot of people who do very similar things, and so there are definitely more than 9 who care.
The Smiths encourage anyone who cares to show it by volunteering. They say you may be surprised where that first step will take you.
There's kind of an immediate hesitancy to get involved because you're afraid to branch out into something new. But I think each time we've done that, we've developed some confidence in the fact that, we can help people. And it'll be interesting to see where we'll be next because we really don't know.
Last year, more than 14,000 people with disabilities went to Camp Courageous in Monticello. That's an amazing number when you realize the camp could only accommodate 200 campers 25 years ago. The special needs camp has grown because of one amazing volunteer. TV 9's Gerald Resnick introduces us to 9 Who Care winner Steve Supel.
For 30 years now, Steve Supel has revved up the tractor at his Cascade farm for daily chores. There's a lot to do on 750 acres, with several hundred head of cattle and hogs. But Supel and his wife also get revved up away from this place.
We've been involved in activities in our community, Booster Club and school board and PTA and things like that. And just attending their activities type thing and kind of gets you off the farm, I guess. And then first thing you're become involved and we enjoy it.
He enjoys it even more when he spends time here at Camp Courageous in Monticello.
Since our kids are gone, we've just kind of drifted into camp and kind of became committed to it, I guess.
Committed isn't the word for it.
Basically, I've been here for going on 9 years now.
You look around Camp Courageous and Steve's imprint is on virtually every corner of this camp.
In fact, Associate Camp Director Mike Fortman says most of the buildings built this decade are here because of Steve Supel. The main lodge, the pit lick in South Cabins, the Nature Center, and this new basketball court. Supel even pitched in during construction. The volunteer elbow grease is just one way the privately funded camp keeps its costs down.
Steve will come out and offer to come out anytime help is needed in the kitchen. He and Jan will come out, prepare meals, serve the meals to the campers.
While Steve downplays being recognized for his volunteer work, he is proud of what he's accomplished at the camp. To him, more facilities mean more campers can come here every year.
Seeing what it means to the kids and the people that come here to camp is what probably drives you to stay involved, I think.
And you can really see in his eyes and in his smile how much he enjoys being out here at Camp Courageous.
And how long will he stay?
I'll probably be here for a while yet, I'm sure. Quite a while.
For a while at Camp Courageous for Steve Supel is a lifetime.
And that's why Steve Supel is one of our 9 who care.
Stay with us. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this. Volunteers do special things for other people. So TV9 and our Show You Care sponsors decided to do something special for our 9 Who Care winners. We held a banquet in their honor. Each of our 9 Who Care winners received a special award and $500 to donate to their favorite charities. It's just one more way they show they care. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we want to say thank you to all of you who give your time and talents as volunteers. Your efforts make Eastern Iowa an even better place to live. I'm Jenna Miller. Good night.
9 Who Care is sponsored by Hardee's, Yonkers, St. Luke's Hospital, and by United States Cellular.